Alright guys, we're back. Getting started with step 16.2, which is all about adding borders and shading to our document. So if you notice, I still have my newsletter 1 up. So if you don't have yours up still, go ahead and open it up. And we're going to save newsletter 1 as newsletter 2. Okay, so as you can see, we started what looks to be a newsletter by adding columns in step 16.1, and now we are ready to spruce it up some more by adding borders and shading. And then lesson 15, I think you did work a little bit with borders and shading, but we're going to get a little bit more in-depth to give you more practice. So here we go. All right, so the first thing we will do is position the insertion point anywhere in our heading protection from the sun. So just click anywhere within, and in the paragraph group, you're going to find your borders button and drop down, and we will select top border. Notice that when you did so, a thin border line was placed over your title, and from one end of the margin to the other end of the margin. So notice that. So with the insertion point still inside of our title, click border, and then click no border. And notice the border disappeared. So position the insertion point in front of the paragraph marker directly above the heading protection from the sun. So there is our paragraph marker, and this time we will click borders and shading, and notice you get a dialog box with several different options. Scroll down and select the border with 2 lines. And drop down on color, and let's change our color to a light blue. That's good. And change our width to 3 points. Now, notice that when we did so, when you look over to the right, you see a preview of what your document will look like. This is your document, and notice as of right now we have a border that's going around our whole document. Well, we don't want that, so we will simply just click, and click to get rid of the existing borders around the page, and we just want it at the top. So click OK, and notice you now have a double border at the top of your page. Alright, so now we want to position the insertion point in front of the paragraph marker at the end of the document. So scroll down and go here, and we want to do the same double line blue 3 points. So let's go back, borders and shading, scroll down, and notice it has it there for you. So we didn't have to select these options because it was already pre-selected in our style. But again, this time we're going to come over and click on the other borders to get rid of those. We simply want bottom borders, and OK. and it put the same double line on our document. All right, so now we will position the insertion point in the second heading. I'm sorry, in the first heading, protection from the sun. So go there, and in the paragraph group, we will click on our borders button again, and this time we will select our shading button and go to your shading tab and drop down, and we want to fill with a lighter blue, a little bit lighter than what we had, and click OK. And notice that it shaded our title. Alright, so we want to do the next one the same way. Click and drop down on your borders. Go back to shading and borders. Click on your shading tab. Drop down. Find the same blue you want to fill. And OK. And again, same thing. Shading tab. Drop down. And OK. Alright, very cool. So we've just added double borders to the top and bottom of our document, and we've also shaded our titles. I think we're on our way to establishing a very nice, professional looking newsletter. We basically stayed on our borders and shading tab, and we selected our borders here and also went to shading and shaded. The key was we placed our insertion point where we needed to be to make our selection. Go ahead and save. You've just completed step 2.